What's up everyone and welcome back to the Zelda Realm. My name is Joe and as always it's an absolute delight to have you join me. I am back from my honeymoon and my wedding. Unbelievable. Guys, it is possible for gamers. We can get married to non-gamers. People thought it wouldn't happen. It has happened. But while I was away, we got a second trailer for Age of Imprisonment and I just wanted to talk a bit about it and also my concerns ever so slightly about the use of the word canonical. And what I'm going to do is we're going to have the trailer looping in the background and I'm just going to chat to you about some of my thoughts and feelings overall about Age of Imprisonment and where, I think there's some issues, but also it looks like there's a bit more love has been put into this one compared to Age of Calamity. So let's get right into it. Okay, so it was no surprise to me that this trailer came up on that partner showcase because this is obviously not technically a Nintendo first party title. It's very much a third party game, and I thought it would maybe bring a bit of pizzazz to the partner showcase, which is it's very much a B level event for Nintendo. It's not the main thing. But obviously we got this trailer which kind of shed more light on what we could expect from Age of Imprisonment. Now, I don't know what your feelings are overall on Age of Calamity, but I think where I stand with Age of Calamity, first of all, is it's a good bit of harmless fun that lets us experience maybe the power that the champions had from Breath of the Wild, but I never really took it too seriously, and obviously the game ran like trash, solid 20 FPS on there. Of course, now we have Age of Imprisonment, which is the kind of next installment in that series, but it kind of works really well in terms of a franchise that the Warrior series could have chosen to work with. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are actually, I feel, quite inspired choices because obviously we know from the story of Breath of the Wild there was a massive battle 100 years before the events, and so that gameplay style kind of works quite well in terms of, yes, we can do that battle style for that. Tears of the Kingdom, I feel, works so well because you can take this game and put it right back to that, years and years and years ago, whenever that was. And we can actually explore. And what I think we're seeing from these trailers are three really interesting things. One, we're doubling down on the cutscenes, which I think was one of Age of Calamity's best features, was how we had kind of voices of characters that weren't voiced in Breath of the Wild, and the love that was shown to those characters, and I think we are seeing more of that here. The second thing is obviously that same gameplay, so that kind of the big bosses, all the hordes, all that kind of thing, and how interesting that is. But the third thing that I think this shows in this scene in particular is exploration. So we are going to go down to the depths, we are going up to the sky, we are going to be on the land, which I think is really interesting. And so I think that is something that we can look forward to, and certainly something that makes me feel relatively excited about what Age of Imprisonment could be. Tears of the Kingdom's story was, for me, always better than Breath of the Wild's, but was told in the wrong way. It's a really interesting story. It's a much deeper story, also significantly darker, and I think just with the continuity and stuff that we didn't get between the two games, that for me, that's where it kind of fell flat. Here I think we're going to get a real kind of fleshing out of that imprisonment war, what could have happened, Zelda's experience. Obviously we have the situation where it's modern, it's our Zelda before draconification in that ancient timeline, which I think is just a very interesting it's an interesting stance and an interesting thing that we, the players, get to experience. But the thing that worries me the most about this is the word canonical. They have been very, very clear, not just on social media, but in this trailer specifically, they go out of their way to say that this is the canonical story leading up to Tears of the Kingdom. And the word canonical is so dangerous, because if I take that word literally, it means that when I play this game, everything should be canon. So the story and the gameplay. But I do not think that we can take the gameplay of this game to be canonical, in the sense of, I would highly doubt that the number of enemies and hordes and things would be anything like what we see here. It was the same Age of Calamity. It was one of the problems I had, was there is no way that at any one stage we are taking on like literally thousands of enemies out per run. That just seems, it just doesn't fit with what Zelda is. So I just find the use of the word canonical really dangerous. I think knowing that the story is canonical is a really interesting, because if the story goes a little bit wacky, then it's going to be hard for me as a hardcore, die-hard Zelda fan to take the idea of canonical story seriously. That's, I think if there's things there, like the wee egg dude, I can't remember its name, from Age of Calamity, if that was here, I find that difficult to be like, yeah, but how come it never showed up in Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, if you get my drift. So that's my main worry, is this use of the word canonical. I am actually now relatively excited. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom to capture footage for the upcoming retrospective, and it's captured me in a way that it hadn't before, and this game is like another helping of that. I think another helping of Tears of the Kingdom is always a good thing, but we have to really temper expectations to not be like, this is a Zelda game. It's a Zelda story, but a Warriors game. That's the way I'm going to kind of frame it for my own expectations. In terms of release date, we still obviously do not know, because they have not given a date. They keep telling us winter, which to me I think means January or February 2026. More likely February. January isn't really a great month for releasing games. People don't have a lot of disposable income just after Christmas and the holiday season. So, but I just don't see it being a December release. I think we would have known by now if it was going to be December, and I think Nintendo, we still don't have a release date for Metroid Prime 4. That to me feels like the big holiday release for Nintendo. They're not going to put that up against this, because even though it's not a mainline Zelda game, a lot of traditional Zelda fans, a lot of Nintendo fans will be getting this game just because it is Zelda in nature. So they were my thoughts on Age of Imprisonment. Look, I think I'm going to be really fascinated, and obviously when the game comes out, I'll be doing plenty of content covering the game, going through it, maybe even doing a playthrough here on the channel. For those who are interested, that could be something we can look at, doing a recorded playthrough. But that is going to do me for my first video back from the break. Guys, we're not doing a schedule here anymore. Videos will be released whenever I have something I want to talk about or something that is relevant, rather than sticking to a weekly schedule. Zelda has been such a dry topic in the last year. There's been basically nothing, and to manufacture content whenever I've got so much going on in terms of work, other things in my life, it's just difficult to really sit down and motivate myself to get things out every week. But I do want to make sure I'm still posting relatively regularly. Try and say that, it's a tongue twister. So videos will be back. I'm going to look at doing things like challenge runs on games, other things like that too, because I think we could really vary the things up here and make a variety of content. But yeah, it's nice to be back. I'm looking forward to more. But yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Age of Imprisonment. Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to wait to see what reviews are like? I would love to get a review copy, but I'm just too small right now as a channel. And Nintendo do not give out codes very easily. But yes, that's going to do me for this week. I am live every week on Twitch, so do check that out. The link is in the description. And for now, that's going to do me. I've been the Zelda Realm. You're all legends. I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.